Look into my eyes, what do you see?
Make yourself right.
Tell me that, Alex.
Okay. And on 3, 2, 1.
So Levi, tell us a little bit about the transition that you made from Jamaica to the UK, the kind of obstacles that you encountered. So one of the things would have been like the weather,
yes,
the cultural differences.
Yeah, well, not a mercy. It's it's no different than what hundreds of people were facing back then in the sort of 60s and 70s coming over. I think the key thing that I recall most of all when I came over was missing my grandma, because the grannies had the jobs of looking after the charges. They were left with the children, because obviously the moms and dads couldn't do with the children. They had to come over to work and to be able to buy a house, get a job and buy a house, and then start sending for the kids one at a time. And it wasn't just about my family, that was what was happening right across the whole Caribbean. So big up to all the grandmas, including my own, because they were the one that was doing the real work, which is looking after the small ones.
Absolutely, and I understand that your grandmother is the one that taught you your early culinary skills.
She did indeed. She was a fantastic woman, a fabulous woman. Her name was Miriam, and she was like the darling of my little village called Content in Clarendon. She could make a meal out of anything. We were very poor. I mean, we didn't have much, so she wasn't the kind of a sort of a cook or a chef, or even that someone lives in a house that had abundance of ingredients. But I think her trick was being able to feed us kids, and the small amount of money that my parents could send over whenever an envelope would come from the UK with some money in it. But she would be able to make a delicious meal out of absolutely anything just by using flavors. Because she's always said that if you have great flavors, it doesn't even matter if the food's small, but at least it tastes good. And that was her magic, to be able to create fantastic flavors out of the little that she could provide for us as children.
So she done you good then?
She did indeed, because she didn't give my other brothers and sisters the secret.
And they were older than you, right? You were baby.
I was always around her frock skirt, as they call it, as a little child. You're pulling on your grandma's frock skirt. So every time my grandma would look down, it would be me pulling on her frock skirt. So I think it's because I was being the smallest. She had the time to she wasn't the teacher, to sort of say, teacher, this is how you make this, or this is what you do. But she had the patience for you to be there and be able to look and maybe have a go. And she would normally throw me a piece of dough when she's making fried dumplings. I remember one of the first thing I remember she taught me was, throw me a bit of dough, make something with it. And I made the shape of a duck with the dough. And she put it in the frying pan, and I still remember it vividly today. Watching that dough, that duck fry in the frying pan as my first kind of cooking lesson from her. And fried dumpling is still one of my favorites now, and every time I make it, I recall those moments that she taught me.
That's awesome. So you came here when you were 11 years old, right? So you came to this cold country, and you made good of the situation, because you must have been missing your grandmother, because you were dearly at the heart, being the youngest, right? And so when you left school, what did you aspire to be?
Well, music was always in I thought, whatever I did was going to be connected to do with music and song. Whether it was with a sound system, which is what I started first with Cox and Sound, or it was as a singer, DJ, record label owner, songwriter, whatever it was. I thought music was going to be my surroundings, and I got stuck in that comfort zone, which a lot of us do that, even nowadays, a lot of us don't really have the talent to make it to where we think we can. But because it's such a beautiful comfort zone, music, inspiration, something that inspires you, it's very difficult to get rid of it. Even if somebody else is telling you, look, you're going to do something else, your children needs better stuff, but music grips you, and you just feel that I can make it. It is a dangerous game, because I was caught up in that. But it's a wonderful thing when you can come out of the comfort zone.
But it took you down the road of going to the carnival. You spent many years at the carnival.
Yes.
What did you do there with the music?
Well, the music was, as I said, it gripped me and it had me. But even with the carnival, it was still the music I was concentrating on. Because at the time, doing carnival for 10, 15 years before I discovered that the sauce was the main thing to go, I was still a musician. I was looking at myself as Levi Roots, the singer, because I didn't make my name amongst the reggae fans in the UK, as a singer, as a man in the band and all that kind of stuff. But it was really when I woke up and thinking that, hang on here, I love this music, but it's not really paying me. As reggae wasn't, up there with pop music or hip hop or soul or whatever. Especially in the 70s in the UK here. It was very much on the fringes. But as I said, I didn't recognize that. I thought I could make it as that. But you have to wake up at some time, and it wasn't my spark moment to say, don't put down the music, because that would have been wrong. But what you need to do is merge plan A and plan B together.
Okay, so when did the sauce come into play then? So I know whilst you was at the carnival you used to do sauces as well?
Yes, yeah. Well, we did carnival for a long time, and cooking at the carnival with my kids and my friends. But still, as I said, we didn't see a gap in the market, because that was the key spark. And I suppose that's what my message is to entrepreneurs. Find a gap in the market. It's useless you waking up one day thinking that, I want to do X, Y, and Z, without really investigating the market and thinking that, will it sell? Yes, I know it will sell. And that's when I started to see that gap in the market for a Caribbean sauce that could be on the table.
Not hot pepper sauce?
Not hot pepper sauce, but a flavored sauce. Well, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to put something that was Caribbean next to tomato ketchup, because on the table was always the lonesome Heinz tomato ketchup and the other ones that we know, but there wasn't a Caribbean one that was right around the country. We had a few that was localized, they were quite hot, and they were always into the black areas and Afro-Caribbean areas. But I was thinking of a bigger picture. I wanted a Caribbean sauce that could be on white people's table all around the country. Wherever Heinz was, I wanted a Caribbean sauce to be alongside.
So can I say Heinz was like your benchmark?
It was indeed. It was, and I remember when the news came back that my sauce was outselling Heinz. I thought, is this really true? Because you never think that you can get to that scale. But business doesn't belong to everybody. Anyone can do it.
Okay, so tell us what made you apply to go on to Dragon's Den? Because I know that it's a hard task to get through all the loops that you got to get to the stage that you did. So who was the inspiration? Who suggested to Levi, I think you should go on Dragon's Den?
Well, it's a funny thing, because I think I'm the only one that's perhaps never ever seen Dragon's Den. Never heard of the program.
Before, you mean?
Until I was actually on it. I'd never seen the program, never heard of it. I didn't apply. I was at an exhibition. I had my song, the reggae sauce song, and I was singing to the crowd, trying to sell a few sauces that day. I was remembering thinking, if only I can sell 10 sauces today, it would be wonderful. And I was singing away the song and had the crowd, and a lady from the production team from the Dragon's Den was there. And she saw me and gave me a business card and said, Levi, have you heard about this investment show on BBC? Would you like to be on it? And of course, I don't watch TV, so I've never heard of it.
You're too busy, right?
So I was chasing this woman away. I was saying, excuse me, lady, I'm not interested in this thing. But I did take her business card, and eventually did ring it up and says, because you know what, if you say to a Rasta man, there's some dragons over there to be slain, the first thing you're going to be thinking of is Capleton song, slew them. So I just thought, dragons and Rastaman, I'm going there with my son, and I'm going to sing this song. I'm going as me. I'm not going to pretend that I'm, some sort of finished businessman. That's not the real thing, and pretending to be someone else. I'm going as, the Rastaman that sings songs, that has an inspiration from his grandma, and has a great sauce and a great story and a backstory behind it. And that's what I wanted the dragons to see. But the first time I ever saw those guys, or hear of them, is actually when I was facing them that day.
Well, you successfully slayed the dragons, so congratulations. So since being on Dragon's Den, I'm sure that you've been in the public eye all over the UK and further. What kind of barriers have you come against? Like criticisms?
Well, as they say, the only doors that you are faced in real business term are the ones that you put up yourself. And I've put up a few of my own self, that I've had to realize that there are actually no doors that you can't get through, and more likely also, the other barriers are what your own people put in front of you, and your own friends and families and all that. It is not the normal customer out there who just wants to invest in something because they're inspired by seeing me on the Dragon's Den and thought, I can be like that man. most of the spanners that were thrown in my works, you know, the bistro thing came from my side of the track.
Do you think it's like crabs in the barrel syndrome?
Crabs in the barrel is absolutely like that. Well, I think times have changed now. You know, that was back then. I do think that now, since 10 years now of Women's Dragons Den, and we having a brand which is talked about in the same breath as Jamie Oliver's, as I say his name, I can look and see his restaurant right across the way from me, and which is it's fantastic that Caribbean food can be here in this beautiful face of Westfield. So, you know, so for me, I was aware of where I am and how we managed to get here. I know that crab in the barrel syndrome is not as prevalent as it used to be, because I think we're in a different space now.
True,
and all that kind of stuff is gone. Now, Caribbean food is risen now. There's restaurants all over the place. You know, our ingredients now are, you know, the Sainsbury's and Tesco's and everywhere.
Thanks to you.
It is a wonderful thing to be involved in Caribbean food at the moment, but I'm really enjoying that.
Fantastic. So tell us, what steps have you taken to help other people who aspire to be like you, not the crabs,
Yes.
okay, get like young entrepreneurs, and there's so many people these days that really want to be a chef, and I know she used to be a chef before. So is there anything that you've put in place? Or are there any organisations that you're affiliated to that people might want to join, so that they can be mentored by you yourself?
Absolutely, there is so many. You know, as I said, I think I'm probably one of the busiest entrepreneurs on the circuit that I do. I don't like to blow my own trumpet. I do think the most important thing that I can share, I do share, is being me. You know, and I think that's the inspiration that you can give. That you can aspire the whole country with that. And it's not about me saying, oh, I've turned it, or I've given this, I've given that, which gets to a small amount. It's who you are. It's a bigger picture. So people don't have to meet Levi Roots to be able to be inspired by him. I think the most important thing for me is to remain that person that people, aspire to, and do not change. If anything, I move forward, so that wherever I am, my story gets there and say that if Levi Roots can do it, then anyone can do it. But obviously, I do get involved in a lot of charities and do a lot of stuff. That's not where we're at to say that. Because us Jamaican, we like to say, me do that, man, and me do that. I've grown in this country where you learn to be a little bit more reserved about the things that you do. But I always say the most important thing is to be you. Because if you do have a message to inspire somebody else, or if you do have something that you want to put across, it's only by being you can get that real message.
Absolutely. So for the people who are watching, can you just give them 3 tips on how to be successful?
Well, the first one is what we talked about earlier, is spotting the gap in the market. Because we all have ideas, especially us as Jamaican people. We're full of ideas. When we walk around, we don't see, hundreds of takeaways, Antiguan takeaway, or Barbados takeaway, or whatever. We see Jamaican takeaways. Obviously, we are very much love to be in business and can do business. But the key thing is that keeping it going for that long term. We haven't been very good at doing that. We've been good at spending money a lot, but we haven't been very good at retaining the money. So it's spotting that gap in the market to make sure that whatever you have to sell on your talent, there is a market for it. And the second thing is to fix up your own self. Get your own self ready for business. Because if you had asked me before, could I have done business, say 15 years ago when I was Levi Roots, the Rastaman, I didn't dress exactly like who I am now, I would have said yes. But the reality was, I wasn't ready for business.
But they weren't ready for you at that time.
Well, yes, but I don't think I was really ready for it, because I wasn't dressing in the right way to represent yourself as a business. And I think a lot of young people nowadays think that you can still take that same attitude of being the street guy into business. You can't. The street guy will help you when you're hustling. You talk that way and you look at your Instagram account and it may check me out yesterday because I need this. Things like that. It's the whole attitude you have to change and get yourself ready for playing in the rooms where other people are about business and portray themselves as business. I think that's really is important, especially for young people, to drop that streetness, which helps you at times in business, especially as an entrepreneur. But you don't want to be looking and speaking like that and representing when you are in the boardrooms and you're in the real business room. So getting yourself ready for business, that's the second thing. And the third thing and the most important thing is just being able to see it for long term. Because business is never about today. There is no business that you can start and expect to get that money like hustling tomorrow. Which is why hustling is so attractive, because you get the money quick and you have it in your hand. And that. The real business for you to see long term takes a long time for you to see the real profit. But when you do get it, you get everything one time. It doesn't come overnight.
If their passion is long enough, then they'll see the benefits.
They'll see the
And
absolute.
can I just take you back to the boardroom, right? So are you saying that, when you was Levi the Rasta man and before you dressed in suit and tie with your national colours, all right, did you struggle conversation-wise with the other people in the boardroom?
Well, no, because I would never in that boardroom. I never got there, which is my point. I wouldn't have. I could still aspire to be me, because I don't think the Dragons taught me how to be this Levi, the new me, the best of me. It was always in there. But then when you find a mentor or somebody that's managed to kind of draw out the best of you, and turn you into something else. Like a diamond, it's always a diamond, but you just shine and polish it, becomes something that you leave more valuable. And that's what it is about, for me. It was always there, but it's being able for somebody to teach you that it's there. But so it's learning to be the best of you. And sometimes it is about the way you speak, the way you dress, the company that you speak. Surrounding yourself with like-minded people is also a great advice as well. Because you can't aspire to do something else and messing around over there. You've got to be with the people who are doing what you want to be done. So I think it's all good advice to sort of fix up yourself, as I call it.
Fix up! Right, so one of my last questions to you, right, Levi, is if you were deserted on an island, what 3 things would you need? And don't tell me your sources.
Oh my God, that's a difficult one. Definitely the music would be one.
So your guitar.
My guitar, I would read that anywhere. The next thing would have to be perhaps the Bible.
Okay.
Because as a Rasta man, you will always have to have some kind of guidance. It's not all about you, what you know. Getting some inspiration, and there's nothing better than having the Word to be able to inspire you. And the third thing on the desert island I would need is probably a fishing hook.
To eat. Well done. Awesome. So I thought the internet would be there somewhere, but obviously not.
Well, I might, be the audience looking at other things on the internet. All I want to do is survive in a fishing hook. The cat, the old thing is saying, don't give someone starving a fish to eat it. You teach them how to fish. Then to get to do. If I have my own fishing hook, I can write a book.
So Levi, I want to say thank you very much for allowing us to come down to the Caribbean Smokehouse.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And the only rule I've got to say, it's not a restaurant.
What was it then?
It's a restaurant.